مستعدين؟
You all ready?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. الله نور السماوات والأرض مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح المصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم. في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه القلوب والأبصار يجزيهم الله أحسن ما عملوا ويزيدهم من فضله والله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. والذين كفروا أعمالهم كسراب بقيعة يحسبه الظمآن ماء والذين كفروا أعمالهم كسراب بقيعة يحسبه الظمآن ماء حتى إذا جاءه لم يجده شيئا ووجد الله عنده فوفاه حسابه والله سريع الحساب. أو كظلمات في بحر لجي يغشاه موج من فوقه سحاب ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض إذا أخرج يده لم يكد يراها ومن لم يجعل الله له نورا فما له من نور. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
Our Shaykh Hafidhullah, he started off by praising Allah and sending salat and salam upon his messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
وما زلنا بحمد الله عز وجل في هذه الدورة العلمية الثالثة.
He said we're still with the praise and all praises for Allah in this third educational seminar
التي ينظمها معهد الفرقان
that is organized by Maʿhad-ul-Furqān
الذي يقوم عليه الأخ الفاضل أبو عبد الله محمد نزيه جزاه الله خيرا.
That our very virtuous brother Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Nazih is in charge of. May Allah reward him with good.
ونستقبل فيه أخوة طلبة علم من أمريكا وبلدنا الكويت.
And we receive therein students of knowledge, brothers to us from America here in Kuwait.
ونحن في يوم الخميس 13 من جمادى الأولى لعام 33 و400 ألف.
And it is Thursday, the 13th of Jumada al-Ula in the year 1433.
الموافق الخامس من الشهر الرابع لعام 12 و2000.
That corresponds to the 5th of April in the year 2012.
أخوكم محدثكم من الكويت سالم ابن سعد الطويل.
Your brother, the one speaking to you from Kuwait, Salim ibn Saʿd at-Taweel.
ونحن ما زلنا في تفسير سورة النور.
And we're still in the Tafsīr Sūrat-un-Nūr.
تقدم معنا قول الله تبارك وتعالى الله نور السماوات والأرض.
He said it already preceded that we mentioned the meaning of Allah's statement. The translation is Allah is the light of the skies and the earth.
وعرفنا بأن الله عز وجل له أسماء حسنى وصفات عليا.
And we've known that Allah has beautiful names and likewise high qualities and attributes.
ومعنى أسماء حسنى أي بالغ في الحسن أكمله.
And that which is meant by Asma al-Husna, meaning that they have reached the utmost limits and extents in their beauty.
ومعنى صفات عليا أي عالية القدر.
And that which is meant by Sifat al-Ulya, meaning that their value and their level is high.
ونحن المسلمون أهل السنة والجماعة
And we the Muslims, the people of the Sunnah and the gathering,
نؤمن بكل ما سمى الله به نفسه من الأسماء الحسنى وما وصف به نفسه من الصفات العلى في كتابه القرآن.
We have iman in everything that Allah has named himself with from the names, and likewise everything that he has described himself with in the Quran.
ونؤمن بكل اسم سمى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم به ربه وكل صفة وصف رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بها ربه تبارك وتعالى.
And we also have iman in every name that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has named his Lord with, and likewise every description that he has attributed to his Lord.
ولا ننفي شيئا ولا ننكر شيئا من أسماء الله الحسنى وصفات العلى الثابتة لله بالكتاب والسنة.
And we don't negate nor deny anything from the names or the attributes of Allah as they are found in the ones that are found in his book.
فهو إثبات وإيمان من غير تعطيل من غير نفي وإنكار.
So this is the fact that we confirm it and have iman in it without doing this ta'til.
ولا نحرف شيئا من أسماء الله ولا صفات بل نؤمن بها على ظاهرها كما جاءت في الكتاب والسنة.
So we also don't change anything from Allah's names and attributes. Instead, we have iman in them the way that they've come to us in the book and the sunnah.
ونعتقد في صفات الله عز وجل بأن الله ليس كمثله شيء فننفي التمثيل عن الله تبارك وتعالى.
And our belief or our creed in regards to the names and the attributes of Allah is that there is nothing like him. So we negate any similarities for him, Jalla wa'ala.
فالله عز وجل لا يماثل أحدا من خلقه.
So Allah Azza wa Jal is not, he does not resemble anything from his creation.
ولا أحد من خلق الله يماثل الله عز وجل.
Nor does anything from his creation resemble him.
بل الله تبارك وتعالى لا نظير له ولا كفء له ولا مثيل له.
So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala does not have any nadir or equal or something that is suitable or comparable to him or anything equal to him.
ولا نعلم كيف الله عز وجل ولا كيف صفاته.
And we don't know the how of Allah Azza wa Jal nor the how of his attributes.
لأن الله عز وجل في علم الغيب.
Because Allah Azza wa Jal is from the things that are unseen.
الله يقول عن نفسه ولا يحيطون به علما.
And Allah says about himself, and they cannot encompass him with their knowledge.
فنحن لم نرى الله عز وجل حتى نعرف كيف هو.
So we haven't seen Allah Azza wa Jal until that in order to know how he is.
ولم نسمع كيف الله حتى نعرفه.
Nor have we heard about the how of Allah so that we can know the how of his attributes.
ولم نرى نظيرا لله حتى نقيس عليه لأن الله لا نظير له أصلا.
Nor have we seen anything comparable or resembling Allah in order that we can use it as a comparison to him.
هذه عقيدة أهل السنة والجماعة في أسماء الله وصفاته.
This is the aqidah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah in regards to the names and the attributes of Allah.
فالله عز وجل من أسمائه النور.
So Allah Azza wa Jal from his names is an-Noor.
ومن صفاته أنه نور.
And from his attributes is that he is light.
نؤمن بذلك أو لا نؤمن؟
Do we have iman in that or do we not have iman in this?
نؤمن بهذا.
We have iman in this.
لماذا نؤمن بهذا؟
Why do we have iman in this?
لأن الله عز وجل هو الذي أخبر عن نفسه بهذا الاسم وهذه الصفة في كتابه.
Because Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who has informed us about this name and this attribute in his book.
والله عز وجل أعلم بنفسه من خلقه.
And Allah Azza wa Jal knows better about himself than his creation does.
فنؤمن بما سمى به نفسه ونؤمن بما وصف به نفسه.
So we have iman about that which he has named himself with, and likewise we have iman about that which he has described himself with.
ولا نحرف هذا.
And we don't change this.
ونعتقد بأن نور الله عز وجل لا يماثل نور المخلوق.
And our creed is that we believe that the light of Allah, the Noor of Allah, is not similar to the light that is created.
هو نور الله عز وجل خاص به يليق به لا يماثل نور المخلوق. إذا كيف هو؟
His light, Azza wa Jal, is a light that is specific for him and suitable for him, and it is not resembling the light of that which the light of that is created. So how is he?
عرفنا أنه لا يماثل نور المخلوق.
We know that it is not similar to the light that is created.
إذا كيف هو؟
So therefore, how is it?
أولا هل يجوز أن نسأل كيف هو؟
First of all, is it permissible for us to ask how it is?
لا يجوز أن نسأل عن الله كيف هو.
It's not permissible for us to ask about Allah how it is.
لأن الله أخبرنا عن صفاته ولم يخبرنا عن كيفيتها.
Because Allah told us about His attributes, but He did not tell us about the how of them.
والرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم أخبرنا عن صفات الله ولم يخبرنا كيف صفات الله.
And likewise, the Messenger informed us about the attributes of Allah, but He did not tell us about the how of those attributes.
فنؤمن بأن لله صفات من غير تكييف.
So we have iman that Allah has these sifat without trying to explain their how.
هل معنى من غير تكييف أن لا كيفية لها؟
Is the meaning of not trying to explain their how meaning that they don't have a how?
لا ليس معنى هذا أن لا كيفية لها.
This is not the meaning of it when we say that we don't try to explain the how.
كل شيء موجود له كيفية.
Everything that exists has a how.
الله له كيفية.
So Allah has a how.
لكن معنى بلا تكييف.
But the meaning of the statement without making a how for it.
يعني لا نقول الله بالكيفية الفلانية ونحن لم نعلم كيف هو.
Is that we don't say that Allah is in this particular fashion or in this particular how, even though we don't know how He is.
طيب لو قال قائل الله بالكيفية الفلانية.
So if a person were to say Allah is in this particular fashion or in this particular how,
هل يجوز ذلك؟
is that permissible?
لا يجوز.
It's not permissible.
نعم لا يجوز. لكن لماذا لا يجوز؟
But why is it not permissible?
لأن هذا كاذب على الله.
Because this individual is lying against Allah.
ولا يجوز الكذب على الله.
And it's not permissible to lie against Allah.
ولا القول على الله بغير علم.
Nor to say about Allah without knowledge.
لو قلنا له كيف عرف بأن الله بالكيفية الفلانية؟
So if we were to say to him, how did you know that Allah was in this particular how?
هل رأيت الله عز وجل؟
Have you seen Allah Azza wa Jal?
قال لا ما رأيت الله.
He'll say, no, I haven't seen Allah.
هل سمعت بالكتاب والسنة كيف الله؟
Have you heard in the book and the sunnah the how of Allah?
قال لا ما سمعت.
He said, no, I haven't heard.
هل رأيت مثيلا لله فقست عليه؟
We would say, have you seen something similar to Allah so you use it as a comparison?
قال لا ما رأيت الله ليس له مثيل.
He says, no, I haven't seen. Allah doesn't have anything similar to Him.
نقول إذا أنت كاذب.
We'll say, then therefore you're a liar.
ما عندك أي طريق تعرف كيف الله فكيف تقول بالله جل وعلا بالكيفية الفلانية؟
You don't have any way to figure out the how of Allah, so how could you say Allah is in this particular state or in this particular fashion?
ماذا يجب علينا؟
What is obligatory upon us
في كيفية الله عز وجل
in regards to the kayfiyah of Allah Azza wa Jal?
أن لا نسأل كيف.
Is that we don't ask how.
الواجب الثاني علينا
The second obligation upon us
أن نيأس من أن ندرك كيف الله عز
is
وجل.
that we give up hope of trying to understand the kayfiyah of Allah Azza wa Jal.
هل لا كيفية؟
Does Allah have a kayfiyah?
هل لا كيفية؟
Does Allah have a kayfiyah?
نعم له كيفية. كل شيء موجود له كيفية.
Yes, He has a kayfiyah. Everything that exists has a kayfiyah.
لكن معنى من غير تكييف
But the meaning of saying without doing this takyif,
أي لا نكذب على الله ولا نتقول على الله نقول الله بالكيفية الفلانية ونحن لم نحط به علما.
is that we not lie against Allah and make up statements against Allah and say that Allah is in this particular fashion and we don't have this knowledge about Allah.
إذا الله عز وجل اسمه النور.
So therefore Allah Azza wa Jal, His name is an-Noor,
وصفته النور.
and from His attributes is light,
ونوره يليق به.
and His light is something that is suitable for Him.
لا يماثل نور المخلوقين.
It is not similar to the Noor, the light of the created beings.
الآن الأنوار في الدنيا كثيرة.
So now the lights that are present in the dunya are plenty.
أليست كذلك؟
Isn't it not like that?
الشمس، القمر، الكواكب، الكهرباء، النار، هذه أضوية كثيرة.
The sun, the moon, the stars, electric, fire.
هل هي متماثلة؟
Are all of them the same?
ألوانها مختلفة، قواتها مختلفة، مسافاتها مختلفة.
Their colors are different, their power is different, the range that they have is different.
إذا كانت هي مخلوقات وهي متفاوتة.
If these are created things, then they're varying,
غير متماثلة.
meaning they're not similar.
فكيف بنور الله عز وجل؟
So how much more so about the Noor of Allah Azza wa Jal?
يقينا أنه لا يماثل نور المخلوقين.
It's certain that it is not similar to any of the light of that which is created.
فنور الله وجميع صفات الله تليق به سبحانه وتعالى.
So the light of Allah and likewise the rest of His attributes are something that are sufficient or are suitable for Him.
وكل مخلوق من المخلوقات صفاته تليق به.
And every created being from the created beings have attributes that are suitable for them.
الله عز وجل من عظم نوره نور السماوات والأرض.
Allah Azza wa Jal, due to the greatness of His light, He has enlightened the skies and the earth.
فهو النور وصفته النور وهو الذي خلق النور في السماوات والأرض.
So He is an-Noor, and from His attributes is Noor, and He is the one that has created the light in the skies and the earth.
فهو نور ونور السماوات والأرض.
So He is an-Noor, and likewise He has enlightened and placed light in the skies and the earth.
ومن نوره سبحانه وتعالى أنه ينور القلوب بالهداية.
And from his light subhanahu wa ta'ala is that he enlightens the hearts with guidance.
ونوره عظيم يليق به سبحانه وتعالى.
And his great light is something that is suitable for him subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ويضرب الله عز وجل مثلا لنوره.
And Allah Azza wa Jal sets an example about his nur.
يقول مثل نوره كمشكاة.
He says that
المشكاة مثل النافذة لكنها غير مفتوحة، إنما هي يعني إلى النصف، ليست نافذة.
He says the example of his light is like the mishkat. And he says the mishkat is the example of like a window that is not open, meaning it's blocked off and closed up.
في هذه المشكاة مصباح، مصباح ينير.
In the meaning that in this window or this mishkat, if you will, there is a lamp or something that gives off light.
هذا المصباح في زجاجة.
This lamp is inside of a glass.
لعلكم رأيتم مثل هذا.
Maybe you've all seen this before.
تكون مثلا في شمعة أو في لايت وعليه زجاج.
There'll be like a wick, and then this type of wick or this light will be inside of glass.
هذه الزجاجة التي ضرب الله فيها المثل يعني زجاجة نقية صافية كأنها كوكب في السماء مضيء.
He said this glass that Allah set this in this example is a glass that is pure and clean, as if it is like a star in the way that it gives off light and illumination.
المصباح الذي ضرب الله فيه المثل الوقود الذي فيه زيت.
The fuel that is in it, this lamp that Allah has set in this example, the fuel that is in it is olive oil.
وهذا الزيت من شجرة الزيتون.
And this olive oil is from the olive tree.
وشجرة الزيتون شجرة مباركة أي فيها خير كثير.
And this olive tree is a tree that is mubarak. It has a lot of blessing in it.
إذا قيل لك ما هي الشجرة المباركة قل هي شجرة الزيتون.
So if somebody asks you what is the blessed tree, say it's the olive tree.
وإذا قيل لك ما هي الشجرة الطيبة.
And if somebody says to you what is the good tree,
فهي النخلة.
then it is the nakhla.
طيب. والله عز وجل يقول أن هذا المصباح يضيء بزيت من شجرة مباركة وهي شجرة الزيتون.
So Allah Azza wa Jalla says that this lamp is enlightened or gives off light by way of the fuel that is in it from this blessed tree, and it is the olive tree.
هناك أشجار تأتيها الشمس في الصباح وتغيب عنها في الغروب، وهناك بالعكس في أشجار جهة الغرب فتأتيها الشمس يعني عند الغروب ولكن لا تأتيها في الصباح.
So there are from the trees those that the sunlight gets to them in the early part of the day but leaves them in the evening. And then likewise there are other trees that are in the western area that the sun gets to them in the evening time but doesn't reach them in the early mornings.
وبعض الأشجار تكون متوسطة تأتيها الشمس في الصباح وفي المساء يعني في آخر النهار.
And some of the trees are those that are in the middle, so they get the sunlight in the early part of the day and likewise at the end of the day.
وهذه الشجرة التي تأتيها الشمس صباحا وعصرا تكون أكمل وثمرتها أطيب.
And these trees that are in the middle that get the sunlight in the early part of the day as well as in the early evening, then they are more beneficial and their fruits are better.
إذا وصفها الله قال فقال لا شرقية ولا غربية.
For that reason
شجرة متوسطة.
And for that reason Allah Azza wa Jal described it by saying it is not a tree, it is not an eastern tree nor a western, meaning it's a tree that is in the middle.
يكاد زيتها يضيء يعني من شدة صفائه يكاد يضيء.
Meaning, and it says its oil almost gives off light, meaning due to how pure and due to how pure it is, as if it almost gives off light.
هل زيتها يضيء ولا يكاد يضيء؟
Does the oil give off light, or is it as if it's almost giving off light?
يكاد يضيء يعني لا يضيء.
Meaning it's almost giving off light, meaning that it doesn't give off light.
لكن يقرب من الإضاءة من شدة صفائه.
But it's close to giving off light due to how pure and how pure it is.
في لغة العرب فعل كاد.
In the Arabic language, the verb it almost or kada
معناه قرب.
meaning that it came close.
هذا الفعل إذا جاء منفيا يفيد الإثبات. وإذا جاء مثبتا يفيد النفي.
So if this verb came in a negated form, then it gives us the benefit of affirming something. And if it came in a firm or definite form, it gives us the benefit of negating something.
انتبهتم لهذا؟
You've all paid attention to this?
هذا الفعل عجيب.
This is a strange verb.
إذا دخل على النفي
If a negation entered before it,
يفيد الإثبات.
it gives us the benefit of confirming something.
وإذا جاء من غير نفي مثبت
And if it came without a negation, meaning it was in the affirmative form,
يفيد النفي.
and it gives us the benefit of negation.
أضرب لكم مثال.
I'll set for you an example.
لو قال إنسان كدت أن أمسكه.
A person were to say, I almost grabbed him.
يعني مسكته أو لم أمسكه.
Did you grab him or did you not grab him?
كدت أن أمسكه.
And I almost grabbed him.
معناه ما مسكته.
The meaning is that you didn't grab him.
فإذا قال يعني كان بعيدا ما كدت لأمسكه.
He said he was far away and my kittu and amsiku, and I did not almost grab him, meaning I grabbed him.
ما معنى ما كدت أن أمسكه؟
What is the meaning of I did not almost grab him?
يعني مسكته.
يعني I grabbed him.
انتبهتم؟ لو جاء إنسان الطائرة متأخرا.
If a person came to the airport late.
فإذا قال كدت أن أدركها.
He said, and I meant to the plane late, he said, I almost caught it.
معناه أنه سافر فيها ولا ما سافر فيها؟
Does that mean he traveled in it or he didn't travel in it?
ما سافر.
He didn't travel.
لكن لو قال جئت متأخرا كادت أن تفوتني.
What if he says, but I came late and it almost left me?
ما معنى كادت أن تفوتني؟
What does it mean that it almost left me?
يعني ما فاتته.
Meaning it didn't leave him.
فهنا الله عز وجل يكاد زيتها يضيء.
So here Allah Azza wa Jal says its oil almost gives off light.
يعني يضيء أو لا يضيء؟
Does it give off light or not give off light?
يعني لا يضيء.
It does not give off light.
ولكن من شدة صفائه
But due to how pure it is,
كاد أن يضيء. كاد أن يكون هو إيش؟ يعني له ضوء.
يعني it almost gives off light, meaning it almost has an illumination about it.
ولو لم تمسسه نار. الزيت إذا مسته نار ممكن يضيء. لكن هذا من شدة صفائه كاد أن يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار.
He says even if fire didn't touch it, meaning that oil or this olive oil, if it was to be touched by flame, it would give off light. But this, due to how pure it was, even though fire hadn't touched it, it is as if it is almost giving off light.
فكيف إذا مسته النار؟
So how would it be if when the fire actually does touch it,
ستكون إضاءته أشد.
its brilliancy will be more extreme.
الله يقول نور على نور، يعني هذا فيه مبالغة. هو منير كاد أن يضيء وتمسه نار فيكون نور على نور.
So this is a type of being extensive in the way that it's being expressed, meaning light on top of light. It was almost giving off light in itself, and then when the fire touched it, it gives off light on top of light.
كذلك قلب المؤمن.
So like this is the heart of the mu'min.
إذا كان قلبه صافيا.
If his heart is pure.
ليس فيه إلحاد.
It doesn't have any ilhad.
ليس فيه كفر. ليس فيه نفاق.
It doesn't have any kufr or nifaq.
ثم يأتيه القرآن.
And then the Quran comes to him.
فماذا يحصل لقلبه؟
So what will happen for his heart?
قلبه طيب طاهر.
His heart is pure and good.
ويأتيه القرآن من الله عز وجل.
And the Quran comes to him from Allah Azza wa Jal.
فيكون قلبه نور على نور.
So his heart will now be like light on top of light.
يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء. الله يتفضل على من يشاء فيهدي لنوره سبحانه وتعالى من يشاء.
Allah guides to his light whom he wills, meaning Allah has favor upon whom he wills, so he guides to his light whomever he wills.
ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس. يعني يضرب مثلا بشيء واضح حتى يبين شيء غير واضح أو غامض. هذا يسمونه مثل.
And he sets an example for people, meaning he mentions something that is clear to explain something that might be unclear or confusing to people. This is what is meant by example.
والله بكل شيء عليم لا تخفى عليه خافية.
And Allah knows everything. Nothing is hidden from him.
من علمه سبحانه وتعالى أنه يعلم ما مضى.
From his knowledge subhanahu is that he knows everything that has passed.
ويعلم ما يكون حاليا.
And he knows what is happening now.
ويعلم ما سيكون في المستقبل.
And he knows what will occur in the future.
ويعلم ما لا يكون. الشيء الذي لن يقع الله يعلمه.
And he knows that which will never occur. The thing that can't happen, Allah knows about it.
وما لا يكون يعلم الله لو كان كيف سيكون.
And the things that haven't happened, Allah knows that if they were to have happened, how they would have happened.
فهو جل وعلا بكل شيء عليم.
So he Jalla wa Ala knows everything.
اسمه العليم.
His name is Al-Alim.
واسمه العلام.
And his name is also Al-Allam.
وهو عالم الغيب الأشياء الغائبة والشهادة الأشياء المشهودة.
And he is the one who knows that which is unseen and likewise that which is open or witnessed.
وقد وصف الله نفسه بهذه الصفة كثيرا في كتابه.
And he has described himself with this attribute often in his book.
لأن العلم صفة عظيمة.
Because knowledge is a very great attribute.
حتى في المخلوقين العالم أكمل من الجاهل.
Even amongst the created beings, the one who is knowledgeable is more complete than the one who is ignorant.
مع أن المخلوق وإن كان عالما فعلمه قليل.
Even though the created beings, even if they were to consider to be something that has knowledge, their knowledge is very limited.
كما قال تعالى وما أوتيتم من العلم إلا قليلا.
As Allah Ta'ala says, the translation of which is you have not been given from knowledge except a little bit.
فكيف بالله عز وجل الذي بكل شيء عليم.
So how about Allah Azza wa Jal who knows everything?
هذا دليل على كماله سبحانه وتعالى.
This is an evidence about his perfection and completeness subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ثم ذكر الله حال المؤمنين.
And then Allah mentions the condition of the mu'mineen.
الذين هداهم إلى الصراط المستقيم.
The ones that he guided them to the straight path.
ونور الله قلوبهم بالقرآن.
And he enlightened and Allah enlightened their hearts with the Quran.
أنهم يجتمعون في بيوت.
And that they gather in homes.
أذن الله أن ترفع يعني أن يرفع الله شأنها.
Allah has allowed them to be raised, meaning Allah has raised their status.
فيرفع شأنها بأن الله مكن أن تبنى هذه البيوت.
And so their status has been raised by the fact that Allah has allowed them to build these homes or buildings.
وأن ترفع بالأشياء المعنوية.
And also that they have been raised with these abstract ideas.
فهي لا ترفع فقط مباني وإنما ترفع أيضا بالصلاة والذكر وقراءة القرآن وطلب العلم.
So they haven't been raised simply just in their building and their structure, but likewise they've also been raised by salat and Quran and dhikr.
فهي مباني بنيت لذكر الله عز وجل ولطاعته.
So these are buildings that have been built for the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal and His obedience.
لذلك لا يجوز تنجيسها ولا إتلافها ولا يجوز البيع فيها ولا الشراء.
For that reason, it is not permissible to make them to place impurities therein, nor to destroy them, nor to buy or sell therein.
وإنما هي مخصصة لذكر الله وللصلاة.
Instead, they are something that is specified for the remembrance of Allah and the salat.
أذن الله على أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه لتكون لذكر الله عز وجل هذه البيوت.
Allah has allowed them to be raised and that His name be mentioned therein, meaning in these homes.
يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال أي صلاة الخمس الصباح والظهر والعصر والمغرب والعشاء.
He is glorified therein in
أي صباحا ومساء.
He is glorified therein in the early morning as well as the evening, meaning the salawat al-khams, the 5 salawat. Any fajr or dhuhr or asr or maghrib or isha. These are the different times of the day. This is the morning and the evening.
ثم ذكر الله حال هؤلاء الذين يعمرون مساجد الله فقال.
And then Allah Azza wa Jal mentions the status or the condition of the people who live or enliven the houses of Allah Azza wa Jal. So He said,
رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله.
He said, men who are not distracted by business nor selling from the remembrance of Allah.
هم يبيعون ويشترون.
They buy and they sell.
ويتاجرون ويعملون.
And they do business and they have occupations and have jobs.
لكن إذا حضر وقت الصلاة
But when the time of salat comes,
تركوا ما بأيديهم وتوجهوا إلى بيوت الله ليقيموا الصلاة.
They leave that which is in front of them and they go to the masjid in order to establish the salat.
لا يشتغلون بشيء غير الصلاة في وقت الصلاة.
They don't busy themselves with something other than the salat at the time of salat.
حتى يستيقظون من منامهم ويذهبون إلى المساجد.
And even to the extent that they wake up from their sleep and they go to the masajid.
ويتركون راحتهم وتجارتهم وأموالهم ويذهبون إلى الصلاة.
And they leave their relaxation and their business and their money and they go to the salat.
فلا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة.
So business nor selling does not distract them from the remembrance of Allah and the establishment of the salah and the giving of the zakat.
ما الذي دفعهم إلى ذلك؟
What has led them and caused them to this?
يتركون تجارتهم ويتركون بيعهم ويتركون وظائفهم ويتركون أموالهم ويتركون راحتهم ونومهم.
They leave off their
ويذهبون المسجد. ما الذي يحملهم على ذلك؟
They leave off their business and they leave off their buying, they leave off their relaxation and they leave off their everything that he mentioned. What has caused them to this? What has led them to this?
لأنهم يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه القلوب والأبصار وهو يوم القيامة.
He said because they fear a day that the hearts will be overturned therein, and likewise the eyes, and that is the day of judgment.
وما الذي يقلب قلوبهم وأبصارهم؟
And who is the one that is going to overturn the hearts and the eyes?
من شدة الهول والعذاب يوم القيامة والوقائع الكثيرة العظيمة التي تقع، لذلك قلوبهم تخاف الناس وأبصارهم تتقلب، فهم يحسبون لذلك اليوم حسابا، فلذلك هم يحافظون على الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة.
He said that who is the one? What is going to cause their hearts and their eyes to be overturned is the fear and the extremity of that day, on these days that will happen from the things that will frighten them and scare them. So this is what will cause their hearts and their eyesights to be overturned, and so for that reason they protect themselves in regards of these things by establishing the salah.
حتى رب العالمين ذكر هذا اليوم بأوصاف كثيرة وأحداث كثيرة.
And so much so that the Lord of everything that exists had mentioned this day with many different names and many different qualities.
فهو يوم مقداره 50,000 سنة.
So it is a day that its time period or its length is 50,000 years.
قبل أن تقوم الساعة تأتي زلزلة عظيمة تزلزل الأرض.
Before the hour comes, there will come a strong earthquake or a great earthquake that will shake the earth.
إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم.
Verily, the shaking before the hour is a great thing.
يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت. من شدة الهول حتى المرأة التي عادت تتمسك بطفلها الصغير وترضعه تذهل عنه.
You will find every one that is a breastfeeder unaware or not paying attention to those things that they breastfeed, or the ones that they breastfeed. Meaning that due to how fearful and how severe that day will be, you will find that even the woman who her custom is to care for and protect the child will be unconcerned with it.
وتضع كل ذات حمل حملة، سواء نساء أو بهائم، من شدة الهول يسقط الحمل.
And likewise, everything that is pregnant will release that which is inside of it, whether it be women or animals. Due to how fearful that day is, they will have miscarriages and drop out that which is inside of them.
وترى الناس سكارى كأنهم شربوا خمرا وما هم بالسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد.
And you will see the people as if they're intoxicated, as if they've drunken liquor, but they won't be drunk. But the punishment of Allah is very severe.
يوما يجعل الولدان شيبا، الولد الصغير يشيب رأسه من شدة هول يوم القيامة.
The day when the child will be turned gray, meaning due to how fearful and severe that day is, his hair will turn gray.
يوم يفر المرء من أخيه.
The day when a brother will flee, a man will flee from his brother.
وأمه وأبيه.
Likewise his mother and his father.
وصاحبته زوجته وأخيه.
And likewise his companion or his wife, or his female companion, his wife, and likewise his children.
لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه. كل واحد يعني يكفيه ما هو في نفسه.
And everyone on that day will have an affair that he is more concerned with. Meaning on that day, everybody will be more concerned with themselves.
فهو يوم القارعة.
So it is the day of al-Qari'ah.
سميت قارعة لأنها تقرع القلوب من شدتها، صوت عظيم يقرع القلوب.
And it's been called the Qari'ah because it shocks and shakes the hearts. How big a sound that will be heard that day will shake and rattle the hearts.
رب العالمين يعظمها يقول وما القارعة.
And the Lord of everything that exists, He says, and what is this Qari'ah?
ثم يقول مرة ثالثة وما أدراك ما القارعة، شيء عظيم.
And then He says a third time, and what will let you know what this Qari'ah is? Meaning this is something that is great.
يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث. لو شفت الفراش الحشرات هذه كيف تختلف مع كل واحد يتوجه، يعني ما لهم طريق مستقيم. هكذا الناس يحصل لهم من دربكة ومن اختلاطهم، كل واحد يهج ويسير في جهة معينة.
So the day when you will see the people like scattered locusts, if you see these bugs how they are when they mix up and they don't have any straight path that they're going, and they're just interacting due to their this severity and this mixing up with each other and hitting upon each other, that they don't have any way that they're going.
وتكون الجبال هذه العظيمة الشاهقة الصلبة كالعهن المنفوش كالصوف الذي يضرب ويصنع فيكون منفوشا.
And you'll see the mountains, these strong, big, solid structures will be like this colored wool that is spread about, meaning like when it gets hit and fluffed up.
وتتضاير صحف الناس، كل واحد يأخذ أعماله في صحيفته.
And likewise the scrolls of the people will be spread out and sent about.
فمنهم من يأخذ صحيفته أو كتابه بيمينه.
So from them are those who will take his scroll in his or his book in his right hand.
ومنهم من يأخذ كتابه بشماله من وراء ظهره.
And from them are those who will take his book or his scroll in his left hand from behind his back.
فأما من ثقلت موازينه توضع في الميزان فإذا كانت الأعمال صالحة يصير الميزان ثقيل بالأعمال الصالحة.
So as far as the one whose scales are heavy, meaning they will be put, his actions will be put in a scale and they will weigh the scale down.
فأولئك الناجون من عذاب الله فكل منهم في عيشة راضية عيشة مرضية.
So all of these will be the ones who escape the punishment of Allah, and so they are in a type of living that is pleasing. They have a life that is pleasurable.
وأما من خفت موازينه ليس له أعمال صالحة تثقل بالميزان بل خفيفة.
And as far as the one whose scales are light, meaning he doesn't have righteous actions that will weigh down the scales, his actions are light.
فهذا مصيره إلى النار.
So his direction or his place of going will be towards the fire.
الهاوية العميقة.
يعني الهاوية meaning that is deep.
وقال الله فأمه هاوية أي تلمه وتضمه كما تضم الأم الصغير.
Meaning that his is this hawiyah, meaning it will gather him up and encompass him the same way that a mother gathers up and hugs her child.
فما حال هذا الإنسان الذي يلمه ويضمه النار.
So what will be the condition of this type of person that will be engulfed and encompassed by the fire?
هذه النار يقول الله وما أدراك ما هي.
And about this fire,
تأويل الله تعالى قال وما أدراك ما هي.
And about this fire, Allah says about it, and what will let you know what it is as a way of drawing attention and causing fear about it. He says, and what will let you know what it is?
نار حامية أي شديدة الحرارة.
He says a burning fire, meaning it's very extensive in its heat.
فهؤلاء الرجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة والزكاة. الذي حملهم على ذلك أنهم يخافون يوم القيامة يوم تتقلب فيه القلوب والأبصار.
So these men, they're not distracted by business or buying upon from the establishment of the salat or giving of the or from the remembrance of Allah, the establishment of the salah or the giving of the zakat. What has caused them and led them to this? The fact that they are fearful for the day of judgment. They are fearful for a day that the hearts and eyesights will be overturned.
هذا الذي يخاف الله عز وجل.
This individual who fears Allah Azza wa Jal,
ويخاف عذابه يوم القيامة.
and he fears his punishment on the day of judgment,
ويخاف هول القيامة.
and he's fearful of the fright that will be on the day of judgment.
هذا الذي سيعيش يوم القيامة آمنا لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون.
This is the one who will live on the day of judgment in safety. He will not have any fear, nor will he be regretful.
وأما الذي لا يخاف الله عز وجل.
But as far as the one who doesn't fear Allah Azza wa Jal,
ولا يخاف عذابه.
nor does he fear his punishment,
ولا يؤمن بذلك.
nor does he have iman in that,
فهذا الذي يعذب يوم القيامة.
then this is the one that will be punished on the day of judgment.
فمن خاف في الدنيا
So whoever has fear in the dunya,
أمن في الآخرة.
he is safe in the akhirah.
ومن أمن في الدنيا
And whoever feels safe in the dunya,
خاف في الآخرة.
he will have this fear in the akhirah.
فعباد الله المؤمنون
So the servants of Allah, those who have iman,
مشفقون خائفون من النار ومن عذاب الله ومن سخطه يوم القيامة.
they're in a state of trembling and fearful out of the punishment of Allah on the day of judgment and his anger.
فبما يجازيهم الله عز وجل.
So how will Allah reward them Azza wa Jal?
يؤمنهم يوم القيامة.
He will give them safety on the day of judgment.
هؤلاء الذين يخافون يوما تتقلب فيه كل الأبصار يقول الله ليجزيهم أحسن ما عملوا يعطيهم جزاءهم على ما أحسنوا من عمل.
These individuals who fear a day that the hearts and the eyesights will be overturned, how will Allah reward them? He says He will reward them for the best of that which they used to do. Meaning He will reward them for the actions that they used to do.
لا يعطيهم جزاءهم ما يستحقونه فحسب بل يزيدهم من فضله.
He won't just give them the reward for the action that they used to do and then that's it. Instead, He will increase them from His bounty.
والله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب لا أحد يحاسبه لماذا أعطى.
And Allah provides whom He wants without any accountability. Nobody can come up and say, why did He give them this?
فيعطي عباده أكثر مما يستحقون ولا أحد يسأله عن ذلك.
And so therefore He can give His servants more than they deserve and nobody can ask Him about that.
بل وبالمقابل والذين كفروا أعمالهم أي حال أعمالهم يوم القيامة.
And in contrast to that, as far as those, he says, and as far as those who committed kufr, then their actions, meaning the way that their actions will be on the day of judgment.
المشركون حتى لو كان عندهم أعمال صالحة.
The mushrikun, even if they were to have actions that were good.
مثل الصدقات.
like charity,
مساعدة الناس في الإغاثة،
assisting the people and giving relief,
بر الوالدين،
being righteous to their parents,
مثلا صلة الأرحام،
connecting the family ties.
حتى لو كان عندهم شيء من الأعمال الصالحة،
Even if they had some type of good actions,
لكن بسبب كفرهم وشركهم بالله
due to their kufr and shirk in Allah,
يوم القيامة لا أجر لهم عليها.
on the day of judgment they will have no reward for those actions.
قد يجازيهم الله عز وجل على ما عملوا من أعمال صالحة في الدنيا.
Allah might give them the reward for those things that they used to do from the actions in the dunya,
لكن يوم القيامة لا أجر لهم عليها.
but in the day of judgment or in the next life there will be no reward for them
بسبب كفرهم.
due to their kufr.
هم أصلا لا يؤمنون في يوم القيامة.
Yani originally they didn't even have iman in the day of judgment,
ولا يؤمنون بأن الإسلام أو الإيمان سينفعهم يوم القيامة.
nor did they have iman that Islam or al-iman would benefit them on the day of judgment.
لذلك كفروا باليوم الآخر.
For that reason they disbelieved in the day of judgment.
فما حال أعمالهم؟
So what is the condition of their actions?
تبطل تكون باطلة لا نفع فيها يوم القيامة.
They will be falsified, they will be nullified and void on the day of judgment.
إذا كان إنسان في طريق صحراء أو طريق طويل
If a person was in the desert or upon a long path
والشمس مشرقة
and the sun was overhead very bright,
خاصة مع الحرارة،
especially with the heat,
يرى من بعيد بسبب ضوء الشمس وحرارة الأرض كأن هناك ماء أمامه.
he will see due to the light, the brilliancy of the sun and likewise the heat from the land, that is as if there is water in front of him.
ماذا يسمى هذا؟ يسمى السراب.
What is this called? This is called a salab or a mirage.
إذا كان إنسان في غاية العطش
If a person is in the extreme throes of thirst
ويسير في الصحراء
and he's traveling in the desert,
يريد يبحث عن ماء
he wants to find water
ورأى سرابا من بعيد
and he sees this mirage from far away
وهو لا يعلم هل هو ماء أم سراب
and he doesn't know, is this really water or is it just a mirage?
وهو على وشك هلاك
And he's on worried about being destroyed.
فيذهب على أمل قد يكون ماء.
So he'll go anywhere out of the hope that it might be water.
فإذا وصل إلى هناك وإلا سراب وليس بماء.
So when he finally reaches there, he'll find that it is just a mirage and not really water.
فيصاب بخيبة أمل.
And so therefore he will lose all hope.
رب العالمين يصف أعمال الكفار هكذا.
So the Lord of everything that exists describes the actions of the kuffar like this.
إذا قامت القيامة
When the day of judgment is established,
أقبلوا على الله عز وجل.
they come to Allah Azza wa Jal,
ظانين أنهم سيجدون أثر أعمالهم الصالحة وأنها ستنفعهم.
thinking that they will find the results of their righteous or their good actions and that it will benefit them.
وإلا بسبب كفرهم
And due to their kufr,
جعل الله هباء منثورا. تعرفون هباء منثور؟
He says he made it as this, Allah made it as this scattered dust. Do you know what this scattered dust particles are?
إذا كان إنسان جالس مثلا في مكان فيه شمس وفيه فتحة صغيرة يدخل ضوء الشمس فتجد ذرات صغيرة كأنها تطير في الهواء، هذا اسمه هباء، وهذا إيش؟ منثور. فأعمالهم هكذا يجعل الله يوم القيامة هباء منثورا.
He said that if a person was to be sitting in a place and the sunlight was coming in and you would see the rays of the sun and have these little particles therein as if they're floating, this is called haba. And the fact of how it's floating and spread out, this is called manthur. So Allah will make their actions like this as just spread particles of dust.
الله يجعل أعمالهم هباء منثورا.
So Allah will make their actions like this haba and manthura.
فهي أعمالهم كسراب بقيعة كأنه بقعة ماء يحسبه الظمآن ماء حتى إذا جاءه لم يجده شيئا.
So Allah will make their actions like this mirage at a particular place or at a particular point of land, meaning a point of land where they thought that there might be water there. The person who is extremely thirsty will think that it is water. Until he comes to it, he doesn't find anything.
ووجد الله عنده أن يرصده الله في ذاك المكان فيوقع فيه عقوبته.
And he says Allah is waiting for him, and they find Allah there, meaning that Allah is waiting for them at that place. So when they get to that place, they find Allah, and He is waiting for them, and He holds them to account.
فوفاه حسابه أي يحاسب حسابا وافيا كاملا على كل صغير وكبير لا يفوت شيء.
And then He fulfills his holding him account or his accountability. Meaning He gives him He takes him to account completely. And so He doesn't leave off any small thing or great thing except that He holds him to account for it.
الله عز وجل سيحاسب جميع الجن والإنس.
Allah Azza wa Jal will hold to account every human being, every jinn and likewise every human being.
بل حتى البهائم سيحاسبها الله ويختص لبعضها من بعض.
Even the animals, Allah will hold them to account and they will take recompense from each other.
لكن البهائم بعد ما يختص بعضها من بعض تكون ترابا.
But the animals, when they take their recompense from each other, then they will be turned into dust.
وأما الجن والإنس فإما إلى جنة وإما إلى نار.
And as far as the jinn and the humans, then they will either go to Jannah or either to the fire.
على ماذا يحاسبهم؟
Based on what will they be held accountable?
على كل صغير وكبير من أعمالهم وأقوالهم.
Based on every small and great thing from their actions and statements.
حتى على أعمال قلوبهم.
Even from the actions of their hearts.
من إخلاص، من رياء، من خوف، من رجاء، من حب، من بغض، حتى أعمال قلوبهم يحاسب الله عليها.
And actions like ikhlas or showing off, actions like love and hate, all of the actions of their heart they will be held accountable for.
على كل كلمة تلفظنا بها الله عز يحاسب عليها.
For every word that you stated, Allah will hold you to account for it.
على كل خطوة، على كل نظرة، على كل ما نسمعه الله سيحاسب.
For every footstep, for every look, for everything you've heard, Allah will hold you to account for it.
كم تكلمنا؟
How much have we talked?
وكم سمعنا؟
And how much have we heard?
وكم نظرنا؟
And how much have we seen?
وكم أكلنا؟
How much have we eaten?
وكم مشينا؟
And how many places have we gone?
وكم بطشنا بأيدينا؟
And how many things have we struck with our hands?
وكم واحد نحن؟
And how many of them are us? How many are we?
كم بشر وكم جن؟
How many humans and how many jinn?
وسيحاسبهم كلهم
And Allah will hold all of them to account.
على كل صغير وكبير.
For every small and every big thing.
ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره.
And whoever does the dharra weight of good will see it.
الذرة هي النمل الصغار.
Yani this dharra is a small ant.
ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره.
And whoever does this dharra of evil will see it.
كم واحد البشر؟
How many other people?
منذ آدم عليه السلام إلى آخر واحد.
Since Adam alayhi salam to the last one.
وكم واحد الجن؟
And how many other jinn?
منذ إبليس إلى آخر واحد.
From Iblis to the last one.
كل هؤلاء يحاسبهم الله على كل صغير وكبير.
All of these will Allah and He will hold all of them accountable for the small and the big.
نعم يحاسب الله كل هؤلاء على كل صغير وكبير.
Yes, Allah will hold all of these accountable for every small and big thing.
لا نقول كيف.
We don't say how.
الله لا يسأل عنه كيف.
Yani Allah is not to be asked about how.
لذلك الله يقول والله سريع الحساب.
And for that reason Allah says, and Allah is quick in His reckoning.
الآن الله عز وجل نحن الآن.
Right now, Allah, yeah.
الآن حاليا نحن.
Right now,
يرزقنا جميعا في لحظة واحدة.
He provides for all of us at one time.
ويرزق الأسماك في جوف البحر.
And likewise He provides for the fish inside the sea.
ويرزق الحيوانات في الغابات وفي الصحاري.
And likewise He provides for the animals in the forests and the jungles and likewise the deserts.
الآن في لحظة واحدة يرزق الله عز وجل عباده في اللحظة نفسها.
And right now, at one time, Allah is providing for all of His servants at the same time.
من على الأرض ومن في جوف الأرض ومن في البحر من فوق الجبال من في الطائرات بين الأرض والسماء الكل متكفل الله برزاقهم في لحظة واحدة.
And those who are on the earth, those who are on the inside of the sea, those who are on the mountains, those that are in the planes flying in the sky, at one time Allah is providing for all of them at the same time.
يسمعنا جميعا أينما نكون في لحظة واحدة.
He hears us all at the same time.
ويرانا جميعا في لحظة واحدة.
And He sees us all at the same time.
يرانا ويرى غيرنا.
And He sees us and He sees other than us.
يرى أهل السماوات وأهل الأرض.
He sees the people of the beings of the sky as well as those of the earth.
ويعلم كل خلقه.
And He knows all of the things that He created.
ولا يعجزه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء.
And nothing in the sky or the earth is outside of His capability.
ويوم القيامة يحاسبهم جميعا على كل صغير وكبير والله سريع الحساب.
And on the day of judgment, He will hold them all accountable for every big or for every small and big thing. And Allah is quick in His reckoning.
ثم يقول الله عز وجل يبين الظلم هذا يعني بعد ما بين نوره في قلب المؤمن قلبه صافي طيب وأدخل عليه القرآن فصار نور على نور الآن يبين حال الكفار فيقول.
So after Allah had clarified the condition of the mu'min and how his heart was something that was light and that was pure and then light was placed into it and so forth, then He goes on to explain the condition of the one that is opposite to him. So He says,
فبين الله ما هم فيه من الظلمات.
So Allah clarified that which they were upon from darkness.
فهم ليسوا في ظلم واحد وإنما في ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض.
So they're not in just one darkness, instead they're in darknesses, some of them on top of the others.
شبه الظلمات التي هم فيها فقال.
So he gave an example, or he resembled that darkness that they were, those darknesses that they were in. So he said,
أو كظلمات في بحر.
or darknesses in the sea.
هذا البحر لجي يعني عميق جدا مثل البحار المحيطات.
These seas are very deep, like the oceans.
فيه أمواج.
They have waves in them.
في أمواج عالية وأمواج يعني منخفضة.
They have very big waves and likewise smaller waves.
فيها نوعان من الأمواج.
So they have both type of waves.
بعضها فوق بعض.
Some of them are on top of the others.
فهي شديدة الظلمة.
So it is very extreme in its darkness.
في قاع البحر.
In the depth of the sea.
عليها أمواج.
They have waves on them.
فوقها أمواج أخرى.
On top of those are other waves.
من أين يأتي الضياء؟
Where will the light come from?
يأتي من الشمس.
The light comes from the sun.
فإذا كان هناك سحاب.
So if you have clouds.
وضوء الشمس يحجبه السحاب.
And the clouds are the sunlight is blocked by the clouds.
ويحجبه الأمواج العليا.
And then likewise blocked by the high waves.
الأمواج السفلى.
And then likewise the lower waves.
وقاع البحر.
And then likewise you're in the depth of the sea, inside the depths of the sea.
هل يصل ضوء الشمس حينئذ؟
Will the light reach there at this point in time?
فهو ظلام شديد جدا.
So it is a very extreme darkness.
فهي ظلمات فوقها بعض فوق.
So there are darknesses on top of each other.
من شدة هذا الظلام إذا أخرج يده لم يكد يراها.
From the severity and the extremity of this darkness is that if he were to take his hand out, he almost wouldn't see it.
يعني لو مد يده أمام عينه ما يراها.
Meaning that if he was, she wouldn't see it. That if he were to place his hand in front of his face, he won't see it.
فإن كان يراها.
So if he does see it,
فهو يراها بصعوبة بالغة.
So if he sees it, he would see it with a very harsh or hard effort being took.
لماذا هذه الظلمات التي هو فيها؟
Why he's in these darknesses?
لأنها متراكمة.
Because they're on, I mean, what are these darknesses like this for? Because they're on top of each other and built upon each other.
فصار الظلام شديدا.
So it has become a very extreme darkness.
وهكذا حال قلب الكافر.
And like this is the condition of the heart of the kafir.
فيه الشرك.
He has shirk.
فيه كفر.
He has kufr.
فيه الحاد.
He has this ilhad.
فيه نفاق.
He has hypocrisy or nifaq.
فيه تكذيب.
He has this beliement or this takdeeb.
فيه حقد.
He has this hatred or this jealousy.
فيه حسد.
He has jealousy.
فيه أمراض.
He has these sicknesses.
فقلبه مظلم.
So he says that the seas are dark.
مظلم إيش بطبقات من الظلام.
Meaning it's dark with levels of darkness.
ومع هذا الظلام لم يقذف الله النور في قلبه.
And with all of this darkness, Allah had not placed any light in his heart.
فتصوروا حال قلبه.
So now ponder or think or visualize the condition of his heart.
وإذا الله عز وجل لم يهده ولم يلقي القرآن والهداية في قلبه.
So if Allah did not guide him and did not send the Quran into his heart,
فلا يمكن أن يهتدي.
so it's not possible that he could be guided.
لذلك الله يقول ومن لم يجعل الله له نورا فما له من نور.
For that reason, Allah Azza wa Jalla says that whoever Allah has not made any light for him, then there is no light for him.
من أين يأتيه النور؟
Where will the light come from?
إذا كان الله تخلى عنه ولم يهديه.
If Allah has left him to be and has not gave him any light.
والله نور السماوات والأرض.
And Allah is the light of the sky and the earth.
فلذلك على المسلم.
And for that reason, it is upon the Muslim.
إن هداه الله عز وجل لشيء.
If Allah guided him to something.
أن يحمد الله ويشكره.
That he praise Allah and that he thank him.
ويسأله جل وعلا الزيادة والفضل.
And that he asks him Jalla wa Ala for an increasement and for bounty and virtue.
ولا يرجع هذا الفضل لنفسه.
And that he does not attribute this virtue that he is in to himself.
ولا لذكائه.
Nor to his intellect and wisdom and smartness.
ولا لقوته.
Nor to his strength.
وإنما يرجع الفضل لله عز وجل.
Instead, he places this hope and returns this hope. This bounty back to Allah Azza wa Jalla.
فيقول الحمد لله الذي هداني.
So he says, Alhamdulillah, the one who has guided me.
وما كنت لأهتدي لولا أن هداني.
And I wouldn't have been guided if Allah didn't guide me.
لو شاء الله عز وجل.
If Allah wanted Azza wa Jalla,
لكنا كغيرنا.
we would have been like other than us.
عباد الأوثان والأصنام.
The ones who worship idols and statues.
عباد الصلبان,
the ones who worship crosses,
عباد الشياطين,
the ones who worship the shayateen,
وعباد الشمس والنار.
likewise the ones who worship the sun and the fire.
لكن أنقذنا الله عز من ذلك,
But Allah saved us from this.
جعلنا مسلمين
So He made us Muslims,
عبادا له وحده دون غيره.
meaning those that worship Him alone without anything other than Him.
نورنا بالتوحيد,
He gave us the light of Tawheed.
نورنا بالعلم.
He gave us the light with knowledge.
لذلك نشكره سبحانه وتعالى,
For that reason we thank Him subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ونسأله الثبات,
And we ask that He make us firm.
ونسأله ماذا؟
And we ask Him what?
الزيادة من فضله.
For an increasement from His bounty.
الله يقول لئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم.
And Allah says, the translation, if you were to be grateful, I would increase you.
والمسلم إذا صلى قال
And the Muslim, when he prays, he says,
سمع الله لمن حمده.
Allah hears the one who praises Him.
أي أن الله يستجيب لمن يحمده.
Meaning Allah answers the one that praises Him.
فنقول
So we say,
سمع ربنا لك الحمد.
Oh Allah, oh our Lord, to you is praise.
حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه.
Praise that is good and plentiful and blessed therein.
لماذا نشكره؟
Why do we thank Him?
لأنه أهل لذلك.
Because He deserves it.
يستحق ذلك.
He is entitled to that.
ونشكره ابتغاء الأجر والثواب.
And we thank Him, show Him gratitude also out of hope to get reward.
ونحمده ونشكره ابتغاء الزيادة من الفضل.
And we praise Him and show gratitude to Him out of searching for an increasement in His bounty.
نكتفي بهذا القدر والله تعالى أعلم والحمد لله والآخرة وظاهر الباطن وصلى الله وسلم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
We'll suffice ourselves with this amount. Alhamdulillah, al-awwal al-akhir, al-batin.
معي تفضل.
In this ayah that talks about the state of disbelievers and that they're steeped in darkness and the waves and they can't see themselves, their hands, things like this. Can we get from this that they're in such a situation that everything is in turmoil for them, right? And they can't see the consequences of their actions because their hearts are cloudy and their intellects are cloudy.
هذا السؤال ولا درس؟
بارك الله فيكم. في الآية ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض إذا أخرج الأمم كثيرها يقول هل نستفيد من هذا أن الكفار حالهم في فوضى دهشة حتى أنهم لا يستقيم لهم أمرهم وأنهم لا يستطيعون أن يرون عواقب أعمالهم لكثرة ما هم فيه من الظلمات.
نعم هذا هو واقع.
He said, yeah, this is their reality. He said, the question was, if can we say about this ayah that the darkness on top of darkness, if they were to put their hands in front of their face, they would not see it. He said, can we say about this that the kuffar are in a type of state of chaos and confusion, so much to the extent that they can't basically see the results of their own actions due to what they're upon from this darkness and on top of each other? And he says, yes, this is their reality.
Salim.
Well, you say that Allah loves a person, He gives him the religion. So what is the status of the people who are amongst the 72 sects? Allah has given the religion, but what's the status?
يقول إذا قلنا أن يحب الله المرء يهديه إلى الدين فما هو حال 72 الفرقة أنهم أعطي من الدين ولكنهم ايش ماذا نقول في حق احوالهم
والكفار كذلك.
He says likewise the kuffar.
نقول نحن لا نسأل الله لماذا فعل.
He says that we don't ask Allah why He's done so.
نسأل ماذا شرع الله لنا حتى نعمل.
We ask what Allah has legislated for us in order that we can act by it.
لو أردت أن تسأل الله لما فعل لماذا تفعل ما تستطيع لن تجد جوابا.
If you wanted to ask Allah why has He done something, what was the reason, you wouldn't find an answer. You wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't find an answer.
الله يقول لا يسأل عما يفعل وهم يسألون.
And Allah says that He will not be asked about what He does and they will be asked.
نعلم بأن الله عز وجل لا يظلم أحدا.
We know that Allah does not oppress anyone.
لكن هؤلاء هم أعرضوا فأعرض الله عنهم.
But these people, they have turned away, so Allah turned away from them.
الله يقول فلما زاغوا أزاغ الله قلوبهم.
And Allah says that when they turned away, Allah turned their hearts away.
كما أن المؤمن أنهم والذين آمنوا والذين اهتدوا زادهم هدى.
And while the mu'min, he says, Allah says about those who have iman and those who have been guided, Allah increases them in their guidance.
أنت تجد الإنسان الكافر
You'll find that the person who's a kafir,
والإنسان مبتدع
and likewise the person that's an innovator,
لو قلت له افعل هذا
if you were to say to them, do this,
قل هذا
say this,
ادخل الإسلام
accept Islam,
تمسك بالسنة
hold fast to the sunnah,
تجده يقول لا أريد هو الذي يعرض.
he will say, I don't want to. He's the one that turns away.
فلما أعرض
So when he turns away,
أعرض الله عنه.
Allah turns away from them.
هو الذي اختار هذا الشيء.
He's the one that chose this thing.
الله لا يظلمه.
Allah does not oppress them.
كأن شخص كما لو أن الشخص تقول تعال معي.
So like if a person was to say to someone, come with me,
أنت تقول تعال.
you saying come,
هو لا يقول لا أريد.
and he's saying I don't want to.
فلما فعل هكذا ما تريد دفعته زيادة.
So when he pulled back because he didn't want to, it's like you pushed him even harder back.
المختار الضلالة.
So the one who chose to be misled,
أضلهم الله.
Allah allowed and misled them even more.
اختاروا الشياطين.
The shayateen chose.
فارس الله عليهم الشياطين.
They chose the shayateen, so Allah sent against them the shayateen.
لو اختاروا الهدى.
If they would have chosen guidance,
لهداهم الله.
Allah would have guided them.
لكن هم اختاروا الضلالة فأضلهم.
But they chose misguidance, so Allah misguided them.
ولا تبحث كثيرا.
And don't try to research this too much.
ابحث عما شرع الله لنا حتى نعمل به.
And research that which Allah has legislated for us in order that we can act with it.
حتى لا تبقى في حيرة.
In order that you don't fall into confusion.
وما شرع الله لنا
And whatever Allah legislated for us,
كثير جدا.
those things are very plentiful.
نحتاج أن نطلب العلم حتى نعرفه.
For that reason, we need to seek out knowledge until we can know them.
فإذا اشتغلنا
So if we busy ourselves
لماذا فعل الله
with why did Allah do,
عن ماذا يجب علينا أن نفعل
instead of what is necessary for us to do,
ضيعنا هذا ولن ندركه.
we will lose this, and we won't be able to understand that.
وسأسألك سؤالا.
And now I'm going to ask you a question.
هل أنت حفظك بطيء؟
Is your memorization slow?
قل no.
No.
كما اتفقنا.
He said, like we agreed.
Huh?
Like we agreed just earlier, is your memorization, are you having a deficiency in your memorization skills?
Yes.
He said, say no.
No.
هل حفظك بطيء؟
Do you have a slowness in the ability that you have to memorize?
It's not that. It's just,
No.
No. No.
هل أنت ضعيف؟
Are you weak?
No.
هل أنت مريض؟
Are you sick?
No.
الحمد لله. إذا قلت الحمد لله الله يزيدك من فضله.
If you say Alhamdulillah, Allah will give you more from His bounty.
We read the ayah about the darknesses in the ocean. People say that at the time of the Prophet, they did not know about these scientific facts. And they try to prove the scientific miracles of the Quran by this ayah. Is this way correct?
يقولون يعني بالنسبة لكوكب الظلمات في البحر المجيء يغشاه موج من فوقه موج من فوقه سحاب موج فوق الموج. يقولوا في وقت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لم يكونوا يدركون هذه النظريات الحادثة بالنسبة للبحر، فيحاولون يستدلون بالقرآن على هذه الأمور العلم. فهل يستدل بمثل هذا على هذا؟
استلم السؤال. خذ السؤال.
If the way I asked the question was that in regards to the ayat or darknesses in the seas, the buji, and with waves on top of waves on top of big clouds, he says that some of the people, they talk about the statement waves on top of waves, and they say that during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did not know about these new scientific, what we call theories and things like that. And so they try to use the Quran to prove these type of things about these new about the scientific things. So is this something that is something that is sound, and is something that can be proven by this?
هذا يسمى بإعجاز القرآن.
This is called إعجاز القرآن.
والناس في موضوع إعجاز القرآن يعني ثلاث أقسام.
And the people in regards to the إعجاز or the miracles of the Quran are in three different categories.
منهم من بالغ.
From them are those who have gone overboard and extreme.
حتى يتكلف يأتي بالآيات يحاول أن يبين بأنها يعني سبقت العلم المعاصر والاكتشافات المعاصرة.
So much so that they've overboarded themselves to try to show them, and they use the Quran to show that it had previous knowledge about all of the contemporary knowledges and science that weren't previously known, sciences that weren't previously known.
حتى أنه يفسر القرآن تفسيرا خطأ، يريد أن يقول بأن القرآن سبق العلم المعاصر.
And even so that it might end up that he will explain the Quran in the incorrect way in order to show that the Quran had in it previous evidences about these scientific affairs.
إلى درجة أنه يعني يأتي بآيات لا علاقة لها بالموضوع، يحاول جادة أن يسخرها ليجعلها تفيد هذه المعلومة، ويقول القرآن سبق الأطباء أو الفلكيين أو مثل التكنولوجيا.
So you find him ending up in a state where he goes to ayahs that have no connection to these topics and trying to use them to prove these topics and say that the Quran had preceded the doctors and the astronomers and other than them in these scientific affairs.
وبعضهم الطرف الثاني بالغ فقال لا ليس بالقرآن شيء من هذا النوع.
And then another group have gone to extremes and they said that the Quran has nothing in it like this.
القرآن قد يوجد فيه أشياء تدل على حقائق علمية.
The Quran, it could have stuff that will prove scientific realities.
لكن الأصل في القرآن أنه كتاب هداية.
But that which is the origin of the Quran is that it's a book for guidance.
لكي يحقق الناس عبادة الله عز وجل.
In order that the people can accomplish in reality the way that they worship Allah Azza wa Jal.
ليس كتاب طب.
It's not a book of medicine.
ولا فلك.
Nor is it a book of astronomy.
ولا هندسة.
Nor a book of engineering.
ولا فضاء ولا بحار.
Nor a book of seas or seas.
هو كتاب هداية.
It's a book of guidance.
كتاب لتعريف العباد بالله عز وجل.
It's a book to bring the servants more awareness about Allah.
فإذا جئنا يعني القول الوسط، إذا وجدنا آيات تحتمل أنها تفيد الاكتشاف المعاصر الحديث.
So the middle path is that if we find an ayah that it's possible that it can prove some new discovery,
فلنقول لعل الآية تفيد المعنى الفلاني، لعل يحتمل.
Then we say that maybe the ayah has this benefit or this meaning in it. Meaning maybe it's possible.
لماذا؟
Why do we say this?
لأن قد تكون آية لا تحتمل هذا المعنى الذي فهمناه.
Because it's possible that the ayah doesn't have this meaning inside of it.
ولو جزمنا بأنها تفيد المعنى الفلاني.
And if we were to say with definite that the ayah benefits this meaning,
ربما يتطور العلم الحديث.
Maybe the new science will advance and evolve.
فيكتشفون بأن النظرية الفلانية خطأ أصلاً.
And they'll find out that this theory was something that was a mistake to begin with.
ومن ثم سيقولون القرآن خطأ.
And then from this they will say, see, the Quran is mistaken.
لأن الآية الفلانية
Because such and such ayah,
دلت على النظرية الفلانية.
it proved this theory.
النظرية الفلانية
And this theory,
مع تطور العلم
after we've advanced in our knowledge,
اكتشفوا أنها قاصرة أو خاطئة.
we discovered that this is mistaken or incomplete.
إذا القرآن قاصر أو خاطئ.
So therefore the Quran is deficient or likewise incomplete.
كما حصل في القرون الوسطى المظلمة النصرانية.
Like what happened in the dark ages, in the middle ages for the Christians.
قالوا أن الإنجيل يدل على كذا وكذا.
They said the Bible proves this and that.
فأتوا بنظريات جغرافية.
So they came up with geographical theories.
ثم اكتشفوا أخطاء.
And then they found mistakes.
قالوا الكنيسة يقولون بأن هذا الكلام الإنجيل.
And then the church, then they said that the church said that this is the word of the Bible.
فقال بعضهم إذا الله عز وجل ضعيف في الجغرافيا.
And he said, and so some of them said that Allah Azza wa Jal is weak in geography.
السبب
What's the reason for this?
تكلف هؤلاء حيث جعلوا الإنجيل دال على هذه النظريات التي اكتشفوا بعد ذلك أنها خطأ.
The people overburdened trying to use the Injil to prove these new discoveries in geography.
فلا نريد أن نفعل ذلك مثلهم.
So we don't want to do this like them.
نبالغ في الآيات ونجعلها هي دالة على النظريات الفلانية أو الاكتشاف الحديث الفلاني سواء طب ولا هندسة ولا فضاء ولا تكنولوجيا.
We don't want to overburden ourselves in the way that we use the Quran to try to prove these new discoveries, whether it be in the field of medicine or engineering or technology.
وجد الآن بعضهم.
You find some of them now.
ما ينظر في القرآن أنه يدل على التوحيد.
They don't look in the Quran from the aspect that it proves Tawheed.
على عظمة الله.
The greatness of Allah.
على أسماء وصفاته.
The names and His attributes.
الأحكام والآداب والأخلاق.
The rulings and the adab, the etiquette and the manners that people should have.
فقط يبحث عن القرآن هل وافق الأطباء، هل اكتشف قبل الفلكيين، هل اكتشف قبل مثلا أعماق البحار، هكذا فقط يبحث عن الآيات التي تكلف بها حتى يفسرها بتفسير، يقول قد سبق القرآن أو سبق محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ما يقوله الآن الغرب.
Instead, they only look at it to see, does it prove this medical theory? Does it prove this astronomy, this theory of astronomy? Does it prove this theory of engineering? In order, they try to use it only for looking to see, does it show that the Quran had this previous knowledge, or that Muhammad had this previous advanced knowledge back then over that which those people today say in these theories and scientific theories?
حتى بعضهم يأتي بحديث
Until the extent that some of them use the hadith
عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم
of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
يعمل فيه محاضرة طويلة
and they make a long lecture therein,
انظر لاكتشاف الحديث الفلاني
and then they say, look at this new discovery of so and so.
قد سبق إليه محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم
That the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam preceded him in it.
فمن أعلم محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم بذلك
So he knows, the Prophet knew better about this from him sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
الله
So who taught the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about these things? They say it was Allah.
الله الذي بعث محمد وعلمه.
So he said Allah is the one who taught the Prophet. I mean, who sent the Prophet and taught him.
فلما نظر العلماء في الحديث
So when the people now look at these hadith,
الذي عمل عليه هذه يعني الكلام كله
I mean, I'm sorry, the ulama, when they look at this hadith, the one that he based all of this speech upon,
وأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سبق المكتشفين الحديثين
and that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had preceded these new discoveries and these new discoveries,
وهذا دليل على نبوته وأن الله هو الذي علمه
and this is a proof of his prophethood and that Allah taught him,
وإلا بالحديث موضوع يعني مكذوب على الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم.
then they find out that the hadith is something that's mawdu', meaning it's something that's been lied about in regards to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
بعد هذا كله وإلا الحديث أصلا لم يقله النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام.
After all of this, and it turns out that the hadith, the Prophet never even really said it sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
تفضل آخر سؤال.
ثابت الله يا شيخنا. نفهم من هذه الآيات إن الله سيحاسب الكفار، فهل نفهم أيضا من هذه الآيات أو من عقيدتنا ستوزن أعمال الكفار على الميزان وكذلك أبدانهم وصحفهم؟
نعم.
The brother Barakallahu Fihi, he asked the question, we understand from these ayat that the kuffar will be held accountable for their actions. So we understand from these ayats also, or from our aqidah, that the kuffar, their actions will be weighed in the scales, and likewise there's bodies, and likewise there's scrolls.
لا توزن أعمال الكفار لأن لا ليس لهم أعمال.
So the actions of the kuffar will not be weighed because they don't have any actions.
لأنها حبطت بالكفر والشرك.
Because all of their actions fell off due to their kufr and shirk.
فليس لهم أعمال حتى توزن.
So they don't have any actions in order to be weighed.
ممكن الكافر نفسه يوزن.
Maybe the kafir himself might be weighed,
كما جاء في الصحيحين.
as has been found in the Sahihain.
يؤتى بالرجل السمين العظيم.
They will bring a very big and healthy man.
لا يوزن عند الله جناح بعوضة.
He won't equal in weight in regards to Allah the wing of flies. I mean mosquito. I'm sorry.
فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا.
And so it will be said, and so that's the meaning, that we will not establish for them on the day of judgment any weight or any scale or any weight.
والله أعلم. صلى الله عليه محمد وعلى آله وسلم.
Allah knows best. Wa sallallahu alaihi wa sallam.